Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. I hope you are doing well. In today's video, we are going to talk about Filipino parties. How to survive a Filipino party, because it may not be like what you expect, okay? So when it comes to Filipino parties, this is that magical event where showing up 1 hour late is considered polite, and saying no to more food is, considered a sin. You cannot say no to more food. And of course, karaoke, videoke isn't a choice. It's a destiny. You just have no choice. When someone hands you a mic, you're gonna have to do it. So buckle up, because we're going to navigate how to survive a Filipino party. So Filipinos love gatherings, whether this is for a simple meal or a get together after work, or of course a party. This comes from the culture of togetherness, especially eating together. Filipinos value eating together as a family, and some even think that there's nothing worse, there's nothing more lonely than eating a meal by yourself. So it's very common for Filipinos to ask friends this question: kumain ka na ba? Which means, have you eaten yet? That's basically equivalent to asking you like, how are you today? How are you doing? So if someone asks you that question, don't be kind of like, you're like thinking, why is this person asking me if I have eaten yet? Because that means they just really care about you. All right? They just want to know how you're doing, because they always think that, a full stomach means you're fine. If you can eat, you're fine, okay? So when it comes to this culture, some foreigners may find that when Filipinos gather together, there's some practices that may be considered unacceptable here in the West, in the Western culture, but it's quite common practice in the Philippines. So here are some of my tips on how to survive a Filipino party. So the first one is, let's start with the invitation, okay? Because in the Philippines, when you invite people to your party, I'll talk today. When you invite people to your party, always think of the multiplication table. That makes sense. When you invite a person to a party, expect that they are going to tag someone along. So if you, again, multiplication table. So if you invite a person, most likely they're gonna tag someone along. If this is 2 people, think that they're gonna probably most likely bring a couple of friends. So if you're inviting several people, it's gonna double, okay? So if it's gonna be a local party in your home, in the barangay, if you're inviting several people, expect the whole barangay to show up. That's just the way it is. So you better cook a lot of food, okay? I just find it funny. So Filipinos always think the more the merrier, and you can't be offended by this. When people show up, always make sure that you have enough food for everybody, okay? All right, so arrive on time. Yeah, you think, what? Are you serious? Yes, arrive on time. Be there on time, which means at least an hour late. For Filipinos, that's actually considered polite, because let's be real, you don't really want to be the person to arrive too early, because people might think you're so atat, meaning you're so like eager. I know it's kind of hard to understand, but when you show up too early, people will think, why are you there so early, And plus, let's be real, you don't really want to be right in front, be the person in front of the line of that karaoke machine. You show up first, and then people are still cooking food. They're probably like, hey, entertain us, start singing. So do you really want to be that person? Unless, of course, you really are an entertainer, and I guess that's fine. But if you can't sing, you can't dance, you don't have any talent, make sure you don't show up too early, okay? Don't put yourself in a situation. This is really a tactic, okay? This is a survival tactic. Don't show up too early unless you're willing to entertain people, all right? All right, the next tip, show up hungry. This is very important. You don't want to show up half full or full, because that's not good. Filipinos will feed you until you're really, really full. Be prepared to eat a lot of food. You will experience what they call like the Filipino buffet. You think you know buffet? Show up in a Filipino potluck, because you're gonna really see what buffet means. That table will be full of food, and you can't refuse, if someone offer you more food. You think seconds. No, there's thirds, there's fourth. Show up hungry on a party, a Filipino party. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, the next one. And this one is actually very funny. You're gonna have to learn to master the art of dodging questions about your life. Be prepared for the classic questions like, are you single? Are you dating anyone? Or if you're with someone you're dating, people gonna ask, when are you guys going to get married? Now, if you're married, people gonna ask, When are you gonna have a baby? Are you pregnant? Now, some of these questions, all of these questions, probably, if you are here in the US, Western culture, they'll probably think that's too much information, that's too personal. No, there's no personal questions. There's no such thing as personal questions. When you show up on a Filipino party, be prepared for these questions. Okay, this is just the basic, classic question, Too much questions, but that's just the way it is. So if you're the type to get offended very easily, probably not a good idea to show up in these parties. All right, number 5, pakikisama, or we call that trying to get along or getting along. The survival, tactics of learning how to do this pakikisama. If someone hands you a microphone and asks you to sing, you really can't say no, You're just gonna have to do it because people will hound you until you do it. Now, if you are not a good singer and you think, I will never do this because I can't sing, just do it. Because if you're really bad singer, people gonna know, people gonna listen to you and realize this person's no good. So that's probably a good way to deter them from asking you to sing ever again. But if you are a good singer, you're gonna get a lot of requests. Someone's gonna be like, hey, how about you sing this Frank Sinatra song, So if someone hands you a microphone, just do it. Just enjoy the party. Sing whether you can sing or not. Just do it, all right? Last one, bring a plastic container. Some people will call this the Tupperware, bring that because, of course, they're going to feed you a lot of food. And then when you're about to leave, they're going to send you more food. They're going to be like, hey, we have a lot of leftovers. We don't want to waste this food. So bring more food, bring home more food. Is that the right word to say? So just when you think you've eaten too much food for the week, there's more food for you, okay? It's very hard to say no to this, especially if the aunties is, handing you this Tupperware full of food. You're just gonna have to accept it. And of course, this is last but not the least, Never leave the gathering too early. You don't want to be the type of person who shows up, eat, and then you're like, okay, I'm done now, I'm going to leave. Don't do that, that's rude. Show up, hang out a little bit longer and just party with everybody, have fun, talk to everybody, entertain others, and just don't be a quitter. Don't be a quitter. If you leave too early, people are going to think, this person's no fun, Now, a Filipino party is not for everyone. Now, I consider myself kind of an introvert, to be very honest. I may seem jolly on camera, but of course, I'm here by myself talking to myself, so in front of the camera, so that's different. But Filipino parties has been a challenge for me. So I know that some people, especially foreigners, you're gonna need a tip if it's your first time, attending a Filipino party. So those are my tips, okay? Be on time, meaning show up an hour late. Be hungry, show up hungry, Master the art of dodging the classic questions. Pakikisama survival tactics, and this is mainly for karaoke singing and video singing. Make sure when someone hands you a microphone, just go ahead and sing, You may not be the best singer out there, but, well, they will find out anyways. When you start singing and they start listening to you and they realize, oh no, this person is tone deaf, they're not gonna hand you that microphone ever again. Or you might become, the entertainment, because sometimes they do that too. If you're so bad at singing, they just want to have a good laugh, they'll hand you the microphone. And of course, don't say no to an extra more Tupperware of leftover food. So that is how you survive a Filipino party. All right, if you have any question, you can go ahead and add that in my comment section below. I hope you have fun in this video. See you next time. Bye.